I would have been okay if the Red Sox got him and continued to spend money and continued to move their team around. Because let's talk about what the Blue Jays did. I love this Blue Jays offseason. The 2025, 24, 25 offseason was a disaster for the Blue Jays. They were a team that said, "Look, we're willing to spend," and no one wanted to come to them. They ended
Yeah.
up overpaying for Tony Taters. That's their big acquisition of last year. Fast
Yeah, it's
forward to
tough.
this year, right? Fast forward to this year, they blew a World Series they should have won. They're right there. They know their window is right there. They go out and get Cease. They re-sign Bieber, and then the reason why I love the Okamoto deal for them is because he didn't cost a lot. We'll get into what we think his numbers are going to be. He didn't cost a lot and still gives him the flexibility to sign, I believe, Bo Bichette or Kyle Tucker. And the
Hmm.
question I asked for those on Twitter is, and this is how I believe that the Blue Jays are playing chess. Would you rather have Okamoto and Bichette or just Bregman? Because that's what they ideally did. They got Okamoto to play third and still allows them to be able to get Bichette. I really believe if they signed
Hmm.
Bregman, if Toronto signed Bregman, there wasn't going to be the opportunity to get a Bichette. And then it'd be really, I know the owner wants to spend money, but it'd be a stretch for them to get Tucker. So them getting Okamoto opened up the door for them to still be able to sign Bichette. Like I said, I love what they're doing. Your takes on it, Sean, and also give me your take on Okamoto as a player. What do you think he's gonna be like in 2026?
Yeah, I thought this was a good deal for Toronto for the same reasons you kind of laid out, where I was always a little skeptical they were going to go Tucker and also bring back a Bichette, or Bregman is potentially an alternative there. I thought it was going to be an either or. I think signing Okamoto still makes it an either or for those guys, but now you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, where you're getting like Okamoto is obviously a step below Bichette and Bregman. Probably even if he pans out how people hope he will, just because those guys have been so good over their careers. But it's a smaller salary. I mean, I think it was 60 million 4 years. Like, it's not nothing, but it's still, you got him locked up at a 15 million AAV for what should essentially be the rest of his prime years. I think he'll expire when he's 33 or something like that. So being able to add that and still get a Tucker or a Bichette, I think that, to your point, that's sort of a best case scenario for Toronto, just because I don't think it was realistic that they were going to be able to sign Bichette to some $200 million contract and then also Tucker to some three, potentially $4 million contract, whatever his number is going to end up being. At the same time, I do think this also is strangely good for the Red Sox. I know obviously it sounds weird saying that a division rival who was one win away from winning the World Series, adding a good player and completing what I said was their best case scenario would be good for us. But I just mean in the sense that I do think it takes them off the table for Bregman, most likely. I personally think they'll either get Tucker or they'll bring Bichette back. But that means that it's less competition for Bregman. It also increases the chances that Bichette goes somewhere else, I think, just because if they do get Tucker now, then I think that they're basically going to be done spending, on that offense. And so I think that it increases the likelihood of Bichette back to going to Boston too. So I think it just, with them sort of reallocating money to someone that the Sox probably weren't really targeting at this point anyway, in favor of players that they are targeting, I think that is a win, at least in a vacuum, for just the Red Sox in their perspective.